All right. Welcome to Roddus Live. I am your host, Roddus. Today, I have three special guests. Would y'all introduce yourself? Ladies first.
Hey, my name is Napira.
Hi, I'm Shane.
Yo, I'm Brian Redman. I'm the Relationship Rehab. Catch me on YouTube, Relationship Rehab.
Okay, so the name of this episode is Sheep Society. So what we're gonna talk about today is everybody on this bandwagon following thing. You get it from the platforms, Facebook, follow me, Instagram, follow me, Twitter, follow me. Everybody is following, and it seems like people have lost their ability to think for themselves because they're so influenced by social media. What's your thoughts, Napira?
At this point, the way I see it is nobody's a thinker anymore. And if you are a thinker, you get called out for being a thinker. So if you go against the grain, if you go against what's being said, what's being in front of you, the indoctrination process, then everybody thinks, oh, you're conspiracists, or how dare you think like that, or you're strange, or you're odd, because we won't go along with the programming. I can say this before I pass it over to the friends. The other day I was watching a documentary, and it was something that my granddad used to tell me, like, stop watching the idiot box. You know, we call it TV programming, right? Well, it is scientifically proven that TV puts you in the alpha wave and it doesn't allow you to think. So it bypasses your own thinking process. So is watching too much videos or things on the computer. So what they're doing is dumbing us down so that we can't catch any narrative that they throw at us.
Okay. Your thoughts, Mr. Ratman?
I think what the other young lady just said was spot on. I mean, there's a thing to where we have, you know, if you're not essentially listening, you know, to what the narrative is that the media is giving you, or what a particular group that's in power at the time is giving you, then the whole cancel culture thing kicks in. And that's kind of like almost like the Salem witch hunts. It's like one of those things to where, you know, if I think you're a witch, then off to the stake you go to be burned. And what's really terrifying about that is not just the one person who may think that, it's the crowd and the droves of people who would cheer it on and not ask any questions. The fact that we are in a social media age to where social media has been like the new drug. It's the new crack that didn't hit the streets. And it's like everything now is for likes and it's for shares and it's for, you know, those subs, whatever it is that you're doing for that attention. But these people are willing to do anything for that attention, you know, going against morals, going against values, whatever the case may be. If it gets me the likes that I want, then I'm all for it, regardless of, you know, who life I may ruin, what lies I may tell. It's just one of those things where people just, we all are just starving for this attention and we're doing anything for it. And I think that's dangerous. I'm
in agreement with that 100% because we all have a job, we all have a responsibility. I don't mean to cut you off, Miss Chang. What's your thoughts?
I actually agree with everybody. Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm actually in agreement with everybody. I feel like it's a definite direct link with social media and this sheep mentality. Like the gentleman said, it's like everybody, if you don't agree with what everybody else is thinking, you're singled out, like you're the odd one, something wrong with you. Why are you following like the sheep? And by, you know, I feel like you get, you know, attacked if you don't fit in with everybody else and do what everybody else do. There's something wrong with you. If you are that leader and you use your common sense and your logical thinking and your critical thinking, something's wrong with you because you're not following what, you know, the style is or whatnot. So I do feel like it's like a witch hunt or something if you different from the others and you're not that sheep.
Right. Okay.
But if
Very
I could piggyback on what the young man just said, something that was important about the likes. They did the documentary about 3 years ago, but they said every time you get that like and somebody liking you on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, that it releases dopamine. It releases a high. So it really is associated with a drug. It's just your natural drug. So everybody is chasing that high. And we know what it's like if you're a crack addict, or if you, once you get high, it's like you gotta have it. So it transcends their thought process. You're no longer thinking because you're standing in euphoria that's not real.
exactly. It's just like with dating on social media. You know, in real life, it's nothing like the chase. I come from the era where you have to actually get a phone number. But what people don't understand, like on social media, even though I'm married now, you know, somebody, they'll put up with whatever bullshit that they got to deal with on social media until they can actually get their opportunity. They'll DM you to death. Good morning, sweetheart, to death. You know, whatever they got to do until they conquer that conquest. But nobody in real life is going to be bothered with that, which is why a lot of women, they missing out on their husband or whatever, because nobody don't have time for that in real life. In reality, that's where reality sets in, and then that's where the disconnect comes, because people can't balance the two. But one example that I want to bring up is Trump and Biden, for example. Everybody had their reasons for, you know, wanting Biden as president, Trump as president. Me, myself, I don't think Biden is doing a good job. Even though Trump had his faults, he wasn't perfect, but I would rather have Trump in, especially like right now, like we're getting poked. We'll say getting poked, but to be politically correct. I'm not with getting poked. You know, I feel like the creator has made me perfect. And I deal with whatever comes with it, like I've been dealing with everything else. You understand? Napira, your thoughts on getting poked?
First of all,
Your thoughts on getting stretched out, getting poked? No, just
yeah, we're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna just put that right there. You did the job. I'm gonna take it right there.
No, but listen, when I say that, I mean they trying to assassinate you from all
Bro,
angles.
just say getting the poke.
Right, no.
Just say
I
getting
told
yeah.
you. I told
Two
you.
different things, bro.
Look, hold on. What show we on? You sure you want to talk about political views?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Getting the poke. Getting the poke.
The jab. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Say the
for
jab.
real.
Because of just how it already went down. Just say the jab.
The jab. Getting the jab. Go ahead, Nick.
Actually, this has been my hot button conversation for about the last 3-4 weeks. I done kind of fell out with cousins and friends and stuff like that, because what I'm telling them, like, hey, look, I don't care if you do or you don't, but you need to make it your choice. Anytime somebody forces or mandated to be not your choice, they are violating your human rights as a human person, as a human spirit. So if you feel like that's your safety, then you do that. I'm not knocking if that's your level of trust, because all of us got different degrees. Personally, I'm not doing it. Personally, I don't want to do it. I know people who are in positions where their job is telling them they have to do it or they get fired. So I sent them some legal, like, look, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to say. Tell them they need to take the assumption of liability before you take that. And most jobs is not going to get that. They're not going to sign off to say, hey, we at fault if you get hurt 2 years, 3 years down the line after you done got this poke. My problem is, listening, if anybody's following what's going on in Georgia, what's going on in Florida and Texas, it was the first morning in the last 2 weeks where I've been excited that I live down south and I got a Republican governor. Why? Because they're not going along with the grain. They like, look, we're not shutting our city back down. We're not masking back up. It didn't work. All of a sudden, y'all say, remask, take the vaccine, we're going to be okay. We take the vaccine, and then y'all say a new variant came out, and you got to mask back up because the vaccine don't with our brains right there. How they tell you, oh, get the shot, get the shot, get the shot, and we can go back to living normal. And then all of a sudden, people got the shot and they can't go back to living normal. My girl was just in Dominican Republic. Do you know they couldn't get off the boat because they was like, yeah, even if you got the vaccine, you can't come to our waters. You can't get in the waters. You could go shop, but you can't go to the beach. Well, then what's the point of getting the Pope? So I get the Pope to go back to normal when you still tell me I'm restricted and I can't live my life. That doesn't make sense. That's counterintuitive. So make it make sense for me.
Okay, I just want to say one thing, and then we're gonna go to you, Brian. They trying to pass the vaccine off and everything. Like I watched Marvel, I watched the Loki series. Loki is the damn variant that they are chasing. Have y'all noticed that, Brian? Have you noticed that?
I only got maybe about 3 to 5% conspiracy theory in my mind. So I know a lot of people have said that, but
all I'm saying is they trying to pass it over and everything. And Marvel is a huge platform. So
and I was just watching it. That's what was on the TV. Y'all funny.
Right. Go ahead, Brian. It's on you now.
I guess my thing is for me, I won't take it. I just won't take it. But I don't have any comorbidities. I don't have any major health issues. I don't have asthma, emphysema. I don't have any of that kind of stuff. So I actually got Delta a few weeks ago and I beat it. I'm here. I fought it. I'm good. I would suggest, and what I've done, even on my show, I did a show about this, people who have those issues, the only reason why I would say to take it is because essentially you got nothing to lose. Because if you catch it and you do get those things, then you're going to be in trouble anyway. It's just like pneumonia. When people will get pneumonia, you get pneumonia at 15 and getting it at 82, two different things. You got a lot more stuff going on. So in all actuality, if I had a lot of comorbidities and things like that happening, I probably would take it just to help me and take a chance because it's a dice roll either way. But for those of us that are in fairly good health, for those of us that are young, all of the children, you under 25, it shouldn't even be an issue of you taking it. It's just like when we were kids. We got all kind of stuff, passed it around, and it made us, we coughed for a while, sneezed for a while, even had to stay home, whatever, flu, whatever it was, and we were back at it as kids because we were just that resilient. These little kids, yeah, these little kids that are getting it, it's not like they going to their deathbed and it's all that kind of stuff. It's like one kid out of every 300,000-400,000 that's even having to go to the hospital, and those kids have issues though. So it's one of those things to where I'm just looking at it from a common sense perspective. Why would I take something and be forced to take something that I don't need, that I can beat it? I've never taken the flu shot, and that's only because I've had a pretty good, strong immunity because I've been around. I was a little league baseball coach for 20 years. I was in schools as a teacher assistant for 5 years. I was in the school as a computer technician for 6 years. I've done all of those things. So I've been around those kids. So I have a pretty good, strong immune system. I'm not taking it. I don't want my kids to take it. And there shouldn't be a mandate to say that you have to take something that they cannot even prove works. You have it to say, hey, you got to take a polio shot. Yeah, we've proven polio works. You take that polio, it tastes like metal. It got a nasty taste to it, but you won't get polio.
Right.
It's one of those things where you're telling me, take this jab, and then if I take it, I can still get it and I can still transmit it. Then all I'm saying is if it's not going to benefit me from an immune standpoint, why would I be forced to take it? And why should I have to take it? And I still got to wear a mask. And I still got to tell everybody else to do the same. It's like it doesn't add up to me. And until it does, I'm good.
That makes sense.
Okay. We got a nurse on the panel. What do you think about this?
Basically, I agree with that regarding this vaccine. First, it's relatively new. This is a different version of like the swine flu and all the bird flu and all the other stuff that happened years ago. One, you can still get, COVID. And some people have gotten the vaccine and have died still, even though they got the vaccine. So, like you said, it's a
Facts.
gamble based on your immunity and what's going on with your body. Two, it's all about money. Basically, the president, he signed this mandate because hospitals, nursing homes, schools, all that get funding. And if they don't force the workers to get the vaccine, they lose that funding. So it all boils down to money, pretty much. That's why they're trying to force this thing, because it's all about money.
Even with the thing, what do y'all think about Delta charging their employees $200 if they don't get the vaccine?
Well, that's $200 I ain't have, so fuck it.
No, it's $200 you gotta pay. So all the employees that get the vaccine, they're good. But if you don't,
Take that shit out of my flexible spending account.
They're taking it out of their account, out of their budget, out of their payroll.
That's what I'm saying. You can have it, but it ain't right though.
When you look at the fact, and just like the other young lady said, when you follow the money, it all leads back to big pharma. It all leads back to the billionaires that have benefited from this. Think about the people who make masks, the people that make their medical equipment and all this PPE equipment. All of these people have benefited from this beyond. And we're not just talking about, business is up 20%. No, these people have literally doubled and tripled their business because of this. So it's one of those things to where, you got your hand on the brass ring and you ain't gonna let it go. You have the gravy train rolling. I ain't gonna be the one to stop it. If I was the number one mask manufacturer in the country, I'm gonna support every politician that wanted. I'm gonna encourage every politician. Look, I need to donate to all of y'all campaigns, $10,000 a piece, because I need y'all to keep pushing this because of the benefit I'm getting from it. And it's like, I understand that's what it is, but I'm more so shocked that we're not asking these questions, saying, you got people telling you to do something and you don't have the wherewithal to even ask the question and say, okay, well, why? The fact that the CDC, because everybody loved to, throw out the CDC. Yeah, well, the CDC has flip-flopped on their stance on this, not once, not twice. They've went back and forth 5 or 6 times over the past 18 months.
Yes,
and it's like one of those things where I get it, but I'm not gonna believe it. I'm not gonna say, the fact that, this is what they said, so we got to do it. Man, you a fool if you thinking that way.
You no longer credible at that point. You losing your credibility.
Absolutely, with anybody. My girl lied to me 4 or 5 times. Bitch, you liar. I get it.
Right?
Yeah, you may have issues, you may have problems, whatever the case may be. You could be on drugs. I understand all that. Fact remains, you're a liar. I can't trust what it is that you say. You know what I'm saying? It's like we always try to be so absolute with certain stuff. And then if we see something's wrong, we don't want to change. We'll double down on it. We'll go with that whole regardless, or it don't matter. It is what it is. I said what I said. It's like, wait a minute. If I've been telling you something for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and then I change it, and then I change it again, and then I change it again, you don't think that you should maybe question my judgment?
Wait, see, we used to say if it looked like a duck.
Man,
this shit worse than the Madoff schemes. And what's really bad about this is that the pharmaceutical companies cannot be sued or none of that.
No, they cannot.
But your job can be held liable if you die or some shit like that.
But that's the very thing that let you know that it's bull crap or that it's a smoking screen.
But everybody does not know this. Everybody does not know.
But it's like my thing is
the vaccinated are super spreaders. They're the ones spreading it everywhere. And I think too, people not washing their hands anymore. Remember, they were snatching up the Clorox bleach wipes and the hand soap and all that stuff. And you couldn't find it in a store. Now you can find it in a store. It's because people not washing their hands and practicing, hand hygiene. That's what I think too, why it's spreading and resurging, because people went back to their nasty ways.
But
and see, the thing is though, from a biological standpoint, we as human beings, period, cross from here to India, wherever, we are made to genetic, just our DNA, the way we're created biologically, we are supposed to exchange germs.
Yes.
I mean, it seems nasty, but
But it
that's
happens.
what we are designed to do that. And
Yeah.
it's like you trying to block that by keeping a mask. It's like all of the benefits that I've gotten over the years from a kid, from herd immunity, exchanging those nasty germs, has gotten me to where I am today. The human species evolved because of that. Being exposed to certain things, and it's gonna lead to my main point. Being exposed to certain things will eventually, over time, alter you. It'll change you. That's just the way that the circle of life goes.
Well,
But
I mean, they said that already. They said that genetically, if we would all go ahead and get it, we're gonna lose some of us. That's inevitable. We're gonna lose some with the flu, pneumonia, whatever.
Car crash, airplane, whatever, it's gonna happen.
Right.
But my thing would be, if y'all are so hell bent on us getting this, that makes me side-eye more than anything. When has the government ever said, if you got 100 or more employees, y'all got to do this, or the Department of Labor is gonna fine you? When have all of these other companies said, y'all gotta get it, or you can't work here, you can't fly, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to the grocery store? It makes me say, well, damn, if y'all trying to make me take something that ain't even proven, then it gotta be something else hooked on to this, to where we may not find out, next 6 months, but possibly in the next 6 years, it'll point back and say, yeah, y'all remember that shit they made y'all take? Well, now everybody grows a third arm. So be looking for yours in the next 2 years. And we sitting here like, well, damn.
This shit is like, I'm not comparing this to the Holocaust by no means, but I'm talking about the steps leading up to it. Everybody might as well be wearing a German style or some shit, like, the Jewish style, some shit.
Actually, you're right though. It's not necessarily to the Holocaust, but it's more Hitler-esque, if you will.
Yeah.
People don't realize it. It's like that's one of the things I've just learned by asking questions and just doing research. Hitler started out at a pub, talking at a table.
Talking shit, drinking.
Just shooting shit. Just talking, yeah. It turned into him standing on top of a bar inside of that pub. Next thing you know, he's outside of the pub on a soapbox. So much time goes on, he got the whole corner. He got the whole block. Next thing you know, what started out as just a little conversation over drinks actually becomes a movement. Now, after that movement, what do movements do? They seek political power. And he did it. And it's like a lot of people don't realize that, you look at everybody just think of Hitler and think of the German War and the Holocaust. Hitler almost took over the world.
He did.
And it was to the point to where everybody said, wait, do y'all see this little motherfucker here? We can't just let him get, hey man, hold on, let's stop this. Somebody got to stop him because he on his way.
Kick the bottom of that motherfucking chair.
But see, now that's the question, like with your podcast, who becomes the town criers? Who becomes the ones that say, hey, do you not see what they doing and what they saying to us? You don't see this Marxist movement. You don't see this Hitlerism movement. You don't see the eugenicist movement. You don't see that they're trying to wipe us out mass. What cripples my brain is that in Florida, you got parents going against DeSantis because he's saying, hey, the right to wear a mask or get vaccinated, I want to leave it up to the parents. And the parents said, no, the government should be able to tell us what to do.
And the problem with that is that what people don't realize, that are for mandatory vaccinations, this ain't a one-time thing. This ain't going to be for the next 2 years.
They will get money forever.
It's going to be forever. It's going to be forever, but it's also going to be what we tell y'all going to get. See, when you never give up power, because once you give up power, you never get it back. Power is taken. You don't give that up. And when you give up something like that, it's just like the soldier. You know it. Just like when you're in the military. You ain't got no choice over what they put in you. You are government issued property. That's what you are. Whatever we tell you to take, these pills, this shot, you have to take it. So it's like when you giving up that particular part of your rights and your power, now they're gonna tell you whatever. Oh yeah, well, along with this other one that you're taking the COVID, but we're gonna throw in this 2319. This one's gonna go with something else just to help build up everything. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why I got it? Well, it's mandatory. It's in the mandatory category. We now have a category of mandatory vaccinations. Everybody got to get. How did we get here? By letting this one little COVID-19 sit on a soapbox and stand outside and talk to everybody.
Right. And you know what, y'all? Another thing is like, when has money ever superseded safety in our history, period? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they was just better off saying like, look, we're going to open back up. Everybody need to take this vaccine or everybody going to die. Who going to have an argument with that, right? You know, that's when you ask to the question, to what extent? But if you got a choice and you looking and following the money and looking at the reasoning behind it, it's 72.3 billion people in the world, and you getting a vaccine from every person 2 or 3 times a year. Come on.
What you was just gonna say, let's go back to the shift in power. You asked it earlier. Now we're gonna address it for a second. You got Biden and you got Trump. 2 different theories, right? So now it came out under Trump administration, and Trump said, look, people, stay at home, get your immune system up, take some hydrochloroquine, do that stuff. He even was being funny at the statement of drink some Clorox. Now, I don't really think he was saying drink some Clorox. What he was telling us was, hey, look, there are so many other methods to get healed or to be okay with that we don't got to get the vaccination.
Right.
And I'm not mandating it. If you sick, stay home. If you're not, you can go out there and work and do what you're doing. We're not destroying capitalism, according to the way we know capitalism to work and function in America, right? Biden comes in and he say, you know what? We putting the mask back in full effect. Y'all gonna get these things and we gonna control what you do and when you want. Because now here's the thing. This is no longer gonna be capitalism. This is totalitarianism, because once we mandate it, and I'm gonna tell you that you can't go to work and you can't bring home no money. So then you can't go get groceries for your babies unless you do what I say and take the jab. That's not capitalism.
That's totalitarianism.
Yes, exactly. The game just changed.
Mm-hmm.
So America, as we know it, gone.
Yep, I agree.
Look, another thing. I mean, I appreciate all y'all points, and I'm glad that y'all spoke about these things. Okay, another thing in the Sheep Society. Russell Westbrook, right? He just wore a dress. Now, I was raised by a firm man and strong man in my community. There's no way I could wear a dress. But my problem is in society, a lot of these people, they influential, and nobody don't want this on their children. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, we control our own homes. My son, Joshua Britton Hunt, you cannot wear a dress. How do y'all feel about this?
Who going first? So I can speak.
I have at it.
I want to hear what the moms got to say about it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Y'all have at it.
Listen, here's the thing. I just read a Chinese article about effeminate men and how R.D. Roosevelt was like, said we got to go to war. That's how we end up going into war, like in 1912, right? So here's the deal. Even saying that going to war make you manly, we starting to do stuff like say okay to wear a man bag, say it's okay to wear a dress, say okay to a skirt. But the whole agenda is the 2030 agenda. If anybody don't know it, you need to know it. So every time the World Health Organization get together, they make every 10 to 20 years, they make a pocket of where they want the whole world to go.
Yep.
In the 2030 agenda, it states that there will be no gender bias. It will only be one gender, right? And there's a war on biological warfare. So that means, Tremaine, you're not a man by yourself as a man, and I'm not a woman by myself as a woman. So all the things that's naturally gonna happen to me, my breasts gonna grow, and I'm gonna have a cycle and all that stuff, all that don't really mean nothing. So the more you keep wiping out the theory and psychologically putting men in dresses and seeing the crossover, then the more you can make it seem like it's not real. And so then they say that you were born biologically as sex, but you don't really know what you are. You don't really know what's going on with you. You can choose. It's an emotion. You're just psychologically not feeling good today. So what it does is keep detoxing our brain to the point that we will accept it when they do the 2030 agenda. Now, mind you, that's only in 10 years. Oh, my bad. We're in 2021. That's in 9 years.
9 years. Mm-hmm.
So they are forcing it. And so if you want to know what's happening and why we seeing it in such grand all our actresses, all our men, the purses, the dresses, the skirts, the movies, it's because they have to exasperate the agenda and they don't got a lot of time to do it. And if you keep programming us, remember, if we keep seeing something, we'll start accepting it as the norm. Exactly. And we don't keep fighting back and say, no, the best way I can put it before I shut up was this. I love Lucy and Bill Cosby. We both saw those shows for a lifetime, right? Lucy Ricardo was married to her husband. So they were married, but they slept in separate beds. Look at what TV did. They wouldn't even let us see two family men and a man and a woman that was married in the same bed because they didn't want to influence how children grew up thinking, right? Then we get all the way to the Cosby Show and you saw both Bill and Camille in terms, quote unquote, in the bed, but they never slept together. Either Bill is up under the cover or Felicia Rashad was up under the cover. So they kept it separated so our brains could process that husband and wives go together, but you know, whatever happens, use your imagination. And then we get to now and you can see any and everything. It's called social conditioning. And so all they got to do is keep on doing what they do slowly but surely, because we're sheep, right? Goats go in and they fighting back. You cannot train a goat, but a sheep, you can put it to sleep. It will follow the master.
Okay.
So 2030 agenda, that's what's going on. And either we fight back or that's what's going to happen.
Okay, Brian, your thoughts. Your thoughts, Brian.
Let Chain go.
Chain, is awesome.
Oh, me? Oh, okay.
Is your son wearing a dress?
Oh, no. When you 18 and grown in your own house, you can do whatever you want. But no, I would not be putting no dress on my son or none of that stuff. No. I think, it's agenda, and they programming these kids to think like stuff that, when we grew up, it was different. This generation, they put in all kinds of mess, and I feel like children shouldn't even be exposed to that at all. The different, if you want to be a girl, you can wear a dress and wear pink and put on makeup. Oh, you want to be a boy, you can cut your breasts off and you can be a boy, and all this crazy mess. Let kids be kids. And it's like they putting in on all the cartoons, all the kid program. You really have to watch what your kids are looking at, because you don't know what they programming your kids to think or view. You really got to watch, because like she said, the idiot box, they put a lot of stuff on this TV, social media, all kinds of programming, and they're basically programming these kids at 2. So you really got to be vigilant as a parent and watch what your kids watching and be able to correct your own kids.
It's a lot of demasculining of the black male. I have not seen any white celebrities with a dress on. Not one.
Yeah, and then, but see, that one goes deeper. This is when you need a follow-up too from this conversation. Because not only is it, you just said that you haven't seen it in any Caucasian celebrities, you got to think they have to totally reprogram African American. Totally got to break us down.
Okay, let's hear from Brian.
So, last I checked, this is America. So when it comes to men wearing dresses, women wanting to be men and all that kind of stuff, my thing is this: you should be able to. The problem that I have is when you're trying to put it on children. Children should not be in adult situations, and they should not be able to make adult choices. A kid being able to choose if he or she is going to be a girl or boy should never happen. If you are born whatever sex that you are and you feel on the inside that you're a different sex, then when you become an adult, you can live that life. The thing about that we have here as far as the men and women in dresses and all of this kind of stuff. They're just trying to blur the lines of sexuality and gender on TV. We can't control that. But the big difference between today and what used to be is that there were fathers in homes. Those fathers being in the homes, like you said in the beginning, your father wouldn't let you wear your dress, wouldn't let you wear a dress. Even if you wanted to, you could have cried, screamed, and yelled, and all that. Big Rotto wasn't going to let you wear no dress because you had a father in the home. Fathers are the gatekeepers. They just are. That's their job. They are there to, even the stuff that you saw on TV, the things that you saw on TV, even though back then some stuff was considered racy. You know, seeing the I remember the fight scene on Dynasty when Blake's wife and the other chick, I forgot, but they finally had a fight. That was something that had never been seen before. Oh man, they was fighting for real. It was crazy. But television is always going to progress and do what it does because they're getting ratings. They got to be more racier. Think about the whole era of Jerry Springer and Jenny Jones and all of those talk shows and all that kind of stuff. That was just debauchery at its finest. But it was slowly desensitizing us and changing us. But it's fathers that say, hey, I know you just watched that, but that's TV, boy. Look here, girl. You see this love and hip hop shit? That's TV. You don't act like that. And that was our thing that we saw coming up. There was a lot of stuff that we saw on TV that was like, man, that's wild. Or man, that's crazy. But it was a thing where I can't do that. Why? Because my daddy said so. Because my parents won't allow it. There were plenty of things that I could not do because of that. I remember when whatchamacallit came out, Boys in the Hood came out. All my friends went. I couldn't go. My daddy had to take me because right when the show got released at one theater somewhere, a fight broke out. Didn't nobody get shot, but a fight broke out. My mama said, you ain't going to that. You got to go with your daddy. But it was just that type of protection that we had in the home. And because we've lost that, now we have television being that not just a source for or as a media outlet, but it is also raising our children. And because it's raising our children,